Alright, YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Something we haven't done in a long time. An unboxing. It has been a while, so stick around. Alright, YouTube, so welcome back to the channel. It has been a minute since we've done a YouTube unboxing, and with the situation going on and this coming, I figured it'd be a good time to discuss and unbox all at the same time. If you haven't paid attention, the prices are out of control. But I was going to use the infamous Lake Knife. Shout out to Midwest Prepper. But this has got these tabs, and if this is like a pull tab open here situation, you might get away without using it. So maybe we'll use it on the inner packaging. Lake Knife is always a good option. Maybe Midwest Prepper will make a comeback one day and be back here on YouTube for some reason. But I hope everybody's having a good weekend. A little warm around here, but nothing unusual. Out of the ordinary, I guess you'd say. How does this thing open? It's definitely got... So this is from Provident Metals. This is just collecting their Zombucks collection. It's always good when you can order silver. It looks like it just rips off the top, huh? I mean, that's always something you can do. Yeah, just rip off the top. Let's check that out. Christmas Eve, Christmas Day style. Oh, and we just dropped like everything. That ain't cool. Get that out of there. Hold on here a second. Let's see what we got here on the ground without messing anything. Now, why wasn't that in the bubble wrap instead of that? Looks like everything remains unscathed. All right, so we get rid of the box. Toss that aside. So like I was saying, we're getting the Zombucks latest release. I've been collecting that series since the beginning, so I would not continue on. But it's always good to get silver ordered, and you get it, and the price has went up drastically since we ordered this. I think it's like $2 difference. It's been a couple weeks since we ordered this. Looks like that flip took a pretty good chunk, took a hit there. But it's Clarence the Bull in the zombified version universe. If we can get this to somehow focus. It's really hard with the shiny coins. The biohazard symbol, infamous as it is. But continuation of that series, just pretty small order, nothing big. Copper compliments. If you're not tracking the Zombucks series, I mean, this started back, what, 2014, 2013 maybe? It's been a minute, and they had like all the standard government coins that they did. But then they took a breather there during the actual apocalypse, during the pandemic. What's the code word for it? What does everybody call it? Plandemic. During that period, and then they restarted last year with more releases, and they did some of the more unusual releases for the Zombucks. The theory being government money's not going to be good anymore. You know, money, the apocalypse is going to be real wealth stuff. And also in what they added with these releases. So we will use the Lake Knife here. We'll do a little slice there. There we go. They added silverbacks, but with the uniqueness of the Zombucks stories. So there's one with the kangaroo, there's one with the panda, and what was the other? The Krugerrand has a version, and now this one has the Clarence the Bull zombified. So yeah, these came like at the pinnacle of when The Walking Dead was out, and gained off of that fame, such as it was, and yeah, just a part of the collection. I count these as just generic rounds. I don't even you don't treat them too special, but do keep them in their own little storage book and stuff. So yeah, that's what that is. And we always, when I get a chance, I'll add a couple gold backs. Talked about these back in 2022, kind of like the gold backs. So I added a South Dakota, a Utah, a New Hampshire, and a Wyoming. And this was just after they announced that they were canceling the Zombucks announced, or not Zombucks, Goldback announced they are canceling the first 3 series, Utah, Nevada, and New Hampshire, I believe. They're going to reissue them with the new artwork and the new security features and stuff. So those will all be getting an upgrade, and I would imagine these South Dakota and Wyoming too will, but the New Hampshire ones will be getting something, but just a couple to add and collect there. So this is collection stuff. Isn't really a stacking video, but on the stacking end, for those that are tracking price, like what is going on? Oh, well, we all know what's going on. I think the stuff has hit the fan financially, and everybody's scrambling for a seat at the table, or at least some people are. And when everybody scrambles, I can only imagine what the price is going to go to for silver. So for those that don't ABLA, the silver market as much. It's even called a Zombull. If you check the name of Zombull, Zombuk. I don't think I've shown a couple of the other ones. I haven't done an unboxing in forever. So yeah, I've got the Panda and the Krugerrand version, and the Kangaroo are all zombified. I got those as well this last couple of years. That go in the collection. I haven't shown those, but you can see them. It's not like you need me to show them to you, but that is what that is. And but with the prices, like we ordered these, I think silver was like 35 something or 36, and now it almost touched 39 this week. I think in the futures market it is 39. So what's going on? Well, what's going on is what we all have been talking about for a decade. Plus, a lot of the channels, everybody has been preparing for this eventuality of debt and fake money going to go to real assets. Exter's pyramid graph, if you go off of Shadow Stats, and who made that graph? The upside down pyramid, and all paper assets going to physical at some point. But anyway, that's what's going down, right? What everybody has been warned about and told about, and nobody should be surprised. Will it go to 50? Yeah, I don't think that's a question. It's just a matter of how quickly and how you're positioned to manage after that. I think the big thing is going to be how people hold on after 50, because that's going to be all uncharted, new territory of what is really going on, who's buying. Like we saw with gold last year, was a result of increasing Chinese pressure, increasing Chinese buying. And now with silver being, like they say, silver is the poor man's gold. It's going to be the next thing. And so this is a 2024. These are all 2024, it looks like. I haven't got a 2025 yet. I don't know if they did these other issues, since they were focusing on the releases of Florida. Oklahoma's coming out soon. I don't think they have really released anything for 2025 for these other states. And now that they're canceling Utah, Nevada, and New Hampshire, that's the last you'll see of those. So they're kind of like collector's items, a little bit, you know. But yeah, real assets got to go somewhere. Unless you got $500,000 to drop into real estate, you know, where are you going to put your money to secure it into something that somebody can't take away from you? Well, you can get Zonbucks, nothing wrong with that. You can get Goldbacks, nothing wrong with that. But most people are going to be getting, you know, the people that have the money, the tens of thousands and such, are getting 100-ounce bars, you know, gold bars. Gold got a little expensive, so then it's silver. You know, that's the only way I can explain it. There's no other reason for it. I think they said the inflow to India, somebody shared with, I think it may have been on SD Bullion's video this weekend. It comes out on Friday nights. I think it was 6.1 million ounces inflow into India of silver last quarter, or whatever the last report was. Like, people are definitely trying to find it, and it's a lot of it's tied to BRICS, and they may not be pegging to gold, but they're definitely using gold as a base and other physical assets, and they are all just trying to put their dollars somewhere because they're going to stop using the dollar within those countries. Brazil just signed on. No, there was somebody else. I wish I could remember who it was, but you got those countries that are all in common practice of mind to share resources and share currencies without using the dollar, which means, and that goes back to Mike Maloney's inflationary video, all that money has to rush back into the country because it's got to go somewhere, and it all ends up coming back here, and that's when you get the hyperinflation as one example. And there's still the problem with credit, with higher interest rates, when that freezes up and then they drop to try to release the printing press. Like, all these things are still in play that we've talked about, that these things haven't necessarily happened to full extent yet. So as far as that $39, like, it's nothing. It seems, you know, we've been so used to, you know, this was you get one of these $15, $17, you know, back in 14 and 15, 16, whatever. And now it seems like, it seems so painful, right? But really, big picture wise, what was I trying to compare a price? I was trying to compare a price of something from like 2014 to more recently. What was it? Oh, wait, remember I was talking about a while back about the LCS used to have a grab jar of Carson City Morgans, and you could just get a raw, definitely a cull version of a Carson City Morgan from the jar. It was like $99 was their going rate, and that was back in 13, 14, and they kind of that jar disappeared like in the 15ish, 16ish time frame, and I lamented not getting any of those, right? And the LCS the other day, or a couple weeks ago, had a few cull Carson City Morgans in their case. Basically the bottom tier line of a Carson City Morgan you can get, I think it was $124, something like that. And I'm like, that is basically cheaper than that $99 10 years ago. It's like, I've got to get me one of those because I'll admit that not getting one then, that's a collector's piece without a doubt. But when you look at comparison to inflation, like that coin at 124 is now cheaper than it was at 99 for sure at that time. So I have got to snatch one of those up, as painful as that might sound. But what happens? Silver's, how close are we to 50? It's going to be really quick, I think. It's going to be whiplash in a lot of respects. But hold. We're not, again, I don't know what anybody else is playing. I'm not here to flip anything. I'm here to hold on for the reset and the new transition to the new, whatever new currency they roll out. One thing I'm adamantly against is turning this into anything digital when they come out, if they turn it into a digital currency, which we think is coming, really against that. Really don't want to sell this stuff to get digits on your phone, digital on your whatever. It's going to be on your phone. It's not going to be on a card. It's going to be on your phone, and then it's going to be in your hand or on your forehead. That's everybody wants to mock it. Everybody wants to just like dismiss it, but that is where we are. I think in the timeline. Could it take a couple years to get everybody? For sure. Is it already in the works in Europe and China? Absolutely. America's kind of like a late adopter in some of these areas. And there are people in America lamenting that we still have physical assets and that we should just be digital everything. Somebody asked on Twitter if America would ever showed a video of a Chinese gold market. You know, a weekend gets really busy, especially during holiday season or whatever. But it was just really busy on the weekend. It was a video from that. And just everybody buying gold. And they asked, would the West ever look like this as far as buying gold for the general public? You know, just lines of people just lining up to buy, you know, gold bars and gold coins at retail. We're not even talking jewelry. There is jewelry there, but they buy a lot of gold coins and gold bars. And I said, no, I don't think we are. I don't think we'll ever get to that mindset because the West pushed past the physical market with the invent of fiat over 50 years ago. The West pushed through fiat so quickly from like 1913 to 1971 that the digital transition is going to be so much easier to push through too without people considering, because they're not suffering during that transition. Yeah, the 70s were a little painful. You know, the Great Depression was a little painful, but the rope-a-dope from when they take away that paper and give us the digital, or more digital. We're already digitized in a lot of ways. That Americans are never going back, or I don't think the West in general. If you include Europe as the West, you know, the way it's collapsing. But yeah, I don't think Western cultures are going to adapt back to buying gold as a secure form, safe haven like Chinese. It's not going to be widespread. It's not going to be for the middle class. It's going to be either one, too expensive or out of reach or illegal or whatever they make it, whatever tier they put in there. Just going to be unreachable, because we are getting to the point to where this is becoming, I mean, $50 an ounce. I mean, that's 4 ounces is a shipment. 4 ounces, you know, everything costs $200 for shipping these days. If you get 4 ounces for a shipment, like, that sounds just insane. You know, it's even at these $30-some, it's like getting painful, getting a little hard to manage. I mean, you can stay on your schedule of, you know, getting a shipment every week, but then it gets less and less metal that comes with it. You know, so I don't see people increasing that outlay. People already don't outlay enough into metals, so why would they increase that outlay? When it gets higher prices, I don't see that happening in Western countries. I mean, I can see people buying land and buying real estate. I can see that happening. People still have that in tune with them, which I think calling real estate investment is a very bad idea. I shouldn't say that. Let me correct that. People look at their house that they currently live in as an investment, and that's the wrong idea. Your house is your castle. I think we really did an injustice when we started calling where we live in our house an investment. No, that's where you live. That's your domicile that you pass on, and that's your family, you know, birthright, you know, base wealth right there. Anything you get above that, you know, if you were to buy another, you know, land or something, that's an investment. I can see Americans getting and continuing with that process, but yeah, I don't see us going to the gold and silver metals as a culture in a country, in the whole country. I don't see it. Not like China lining up on a Saturday to buy gold coins. It's not happening. Fortunately, there's so much stuff online that alleviates a little bit of that. You know, and the LCSs do business, but lines out the door like in China. You know, everybody buying gold coins for Christmas. That's just not happening. In my mind, in my opinion, it would be nice, I think, to kind of be wrong. I mean, Nevada does produce the most gold, you know, I think outside of Alaska, but we ship all our gold to Switzerland. to get refined. We need a refinery here in Nevada. If anyone wants to pitch in and invest in refinery capability here in Nevada, let's do it. I know they got plenty of copper ore coming out, and copper's now got tariffs, so a lot of that's going to be staying home. Like this stuff here, copper rounds, we can expect to see more of in the locally, maybe. But where'd the other one go? Oh, I hit it over here. I hit it under the gold back. But yeah, the copper coming out of Nevada is pretty significant. The gold is significant. But we need a refinery. So anybody has any refinery capability, let's do it. Maybe we could get Scottsdale over in Wyoming just to take it instead of shipping it off to Switzerland, because why do you want to send all your wealth off to the Masons, the Freemasonry Guild? Little conspiracy fact. Throw it out there. How does Switzerland maintain its neutrality for 1,000 years? It was a little tiny country. Granted, it's mountainous and it's difficult to invade with this point of modern technology. Yeah, it's got all the gold, but nobody wants to take it out. Yeah, that's suspect. Anyway, we went long, YouTube. Appreciate you for hanging in. If you're hanging in here till the end, comment, like, subscribe. Thumbs up, thumbs down, complaints, as Irish would say. And everybody, shout out to everybody that did their condolences for Saints and Sappers. We cannot forget to remember him, and the number of us on the YouTube are slowly dwindling away. We're getting fewer and fewer, unfortunately, and I miss those old timers, the chats and everything else. But Bikes and Bullets, Tony, all those guys, y'all have a great weekend. Prep hard, stack hard, pray hard, live free.